So you built a custom GPT, you've been asking it to write captions for you, and you're still doing all the work yourself. Here's why that setup was never going to help you, and what the people who got it working are doing differently. So in the last two videos, I talked about how AI sits inside of your business, and I also showed you the morning brief. Now I want to address something that I see happening all the time when people try to set up AI. They hit a wall and then they decide AI doesn't work for them, so they quit. And it's not that AI doesn't work for them, it's that they made one of these 5 mistakes. So if you've already tried, listen carefully. You'll probably recognize yourself here. So mistake number 1 is using the wrong AI tool. They started with a custom GPT. In ChatGPT, custom GPTs are great for personal one-off prompts. They cannot read your data. They cannot write to your data. Basically, they live in a sandbox. And what you actually need is something that connects to your business information and systems. So basically, Claude with skills or access to an API. If your AI can't see your data, it can't do the work for you in your business. It can only suggest things that you then have to go and do. Now, mistake number 2 that I see is automating before you systemize things. So I see people, they try to get Claude to organize their tasks before they actually have a system for their tasks. So their tasks weren't in one place, and they need to be in one place. Claude can't help you if your Airtable is a mess, or if your tasks are spread out across Notion, Google Docs, and 3 different notebooks. It can help you to put all of them in one place and get it organized, but you need to do that first. So systemize first, then automate, not the other way around. Now, mistake number 3 that I see is people ask all the time for marketing instead of one actual task. So if you say something like, help me with marketing, that's way too vague. If you said something like, read this week's published blog post and turn that into a carousel and a Pinterest pin, and you tell it that's its task, Claude will go and do it. So you need to treat AI like a teammate. You give it one repeatable job, then you add another repeatable job. So think of it like you're training an employee. You wouldn't just throw them in the deep end. You'd be giving them little jobs to do and building that up. As they start to master one, you give it another one. Same sort of thing. If you've made any of these mistakes so far, hit the like button so that I know that I'm talking to the right people. And I'm not the only one that learned these lessons the hard way. Mistake number 4, not feeding it your voice or context. So if you ask AI to write an email for you and you don't give it your voice to use, it's going to come out and it's going to sound quite robotic and quite generic. But if you actually take the time and you give it guidelines on what your brand should sound like what your voice should sound like, and give it your thoughts and opinions on things to actually use in the content, it's going to come out sounding like you. So if you were to put in the same prompt and one, you gave it your voice and your opinions, and on the other, you just said this is the topic of the email, which one do you think is going to come out better? It's always going to be that one that has your voice and has your opinion. And while we're talking about that, if you do write blog posts or anything using AI, you need to use your own thoughts and opinions so you don't get flagged as being AI content. Because you can use AI to help you write your content, but you really need to have your expertise and your experience coming through in your content. And number 5, no human in the loop. This is a big one, because if you're trusting AI to do everything itself, things will fall over. So what I see often is people set up an automation, or they get AI to set up an automation. They don't check it. Half the time they don't even understand what it's doing. So they're like, well, I can't check it because I don't understand it. And so what happens is it runs for a week and then something went wrong somewhere along the way because nobody checked it, and all sorts of things start to go wrong and happen as a result of that. And then people start to think, oh, I don't know what to do. And then they panic and then they shut everything down. Don't do that. You need to set up checks. So review the first 5 outputs, that go through that automation. And then you adjust things if you need to. And another thing that you can do is if you use Claude Cowork, if you do have automations or something that is running all the time, what you could do is you could get it to have a skill where it checks that every day for you, and then it comes back with any flags. So if there's anything that's gone wrong, any error messages, anything, it comes back and notifies you before anyone else knows. And that way you can fix it. So that's a really good way as well. But not having a human in that loop would just burn things down because things will go wrong. So you do really need to be in that loop. So have you experienced any of these? Be honest. Are any of these describing you? Because I've been there. I've done these things as well. So I'm wanting to help you from what I've learnt so you don't have to learn the hard way. So if any of these hit home, let me know which one in the comments. But now that you know what not to do, my next video is going to show you what it looks like when everything is set up properly. So I'll give you a full tour of my actual stack. So that'll be the next video that comes out. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments for me.